Welcome to another edition of Leadership Shift. We have shown you some of the events we have had in the previous weeks. The Teen Leadership Conference at Bravo School, Teen Leadership Workshop at Nifesi School. We still have many more conferences and workshops coming up this period of the year before it gets to December period. But today I'd like to talk to you about one of the things we talked about at the two conferences. We are going to talk about it in the next two editions is attitude, having the right attitude. The thing about leadership is this, and everything about life generally. If there's going to be solution to people's problems or your problem, you must have the right attitude. So what is attitude? Attitude is someone's feelings, thoughts, and behaviors towards a particular situation or a person or a thing. So the way you behave, your thoughts, your programming towards something, a person or a thing forms your attitude. Now, attitude is also the mental state that influences how you perceive, how you react, and how you respond to situation. So the mindset that you have that programs you to respond in a certain way, that makes you perceive things in a certain way, that kind of mindset gives you a certain kind of attitude. So two people can face the same situation and have different attitudes towards it. How does that has to do with leadership? We are in the same country, we see the same challenge, we see the same problem, but we can respond to that challenge and attitude and that situation differently based on our attitude. So we are in the same locality, you see something wrong somewhere, and you have a certain way you look at it. Another person looks at it in a different way. And we now respond to those things in different ways based on our attitude. So our thoughts influences us, our knowledge of situation influences us, our environment influences us, so that changes the way we respond to situation. Someone is an establishment, and in that establishment, the things that are going on in a certain department are not going on well. Some will see it as a problem and complain about it. Some will see it as an opportunity for them to solve the problem. And at the end of the day, after solving the problem, what happens to the person that solved the problem? They become promoted. So one of the things we tell them at the conference or at our workshop is that if you are going to demonstrate true leadership, you must have the right attitude towards challenges of life. What do you think? How do you think? How do you respond? How do you perceive? How do you react? Now, you might have a wrong attitude or a bad attitude right before now, but you can change it. How do you change your attitude? You change your attitude by changing the information that you put into yourself. You expose yourself to the right information. The people around you have to be the people that can encourage the right kind of mindset. The materials you consume, it's important because they affect your emotions, they affect your feelings, they affect your knowledge. The things you invest into yourself, it will determine the kind of attitude you have towards the situations of life. So, the situations of life are not as important as what is going on inside of you. I'll put it this way. Your external environment is not as important as your internal environment. Because what happens inside of you, the dialogue going inside of you, the conversation going on inside of you is what reflects in the result that you see on the outside. So we emphasize a lot to these teenagers that to demonstrate leadership and to work in good leadership qualities, you need to ensure that your attitude is right. You have the right attitude towards situations of life. At the present level, you see an environment around that is dirty. What's your attitude towards it? You enter into your school, you see things that you can change, things that you can do. Like we discussed with them in climate change. You look around your environment in your school, you can plant trees there. That's having the right attitude. You plant trees, you clean the environment, you put waste materials, waste bins there so that they can put waste materials inside. You ensure that the environment is not loitered and so on. Those are the kind of attitude you imbibe so that your environment can become better. So we talk to the children, talk to the teenagers that it's important, the kind of attitude you have towards your environment, towards the people around you, and towards your academic materials. We are going to end this podcast now. We'll continue on our discussion on attitude in the next podcast. I believe you have learned something about attitude, and I believe you have known why it's important for you to have the right attitude. Thank you very much. Till another edition of Leadership Shift. God bless you.